and white, cherry and white, joined together in hope and expectation. Saracens angling for a 5th Premiership final in 6 seasons.
Come on, Sarries! Come on!
Barrett, Farrell, that kick through, and Maitland will pick up and score. That's how champions respond. That is how champions respond. Now Lazowski, and immediately running it through the hands. Oh, this is Tompkins, and he might be running all the way to Twickenham. We may be looking ahead to next weekend, and Saracens once again at HQ. And there's a whole cavalry of Saracens players to this right-hand side. Lazowski, Williams, Farrell, and Tompkins will have a second. Already, the presses are running. Already, they are printing the Twickenham tickets.
Saracens are comfortably the best team in Europe, and they've shown today that they're comfortably the best team in the Premiership as well. To put on 44 points in a semi-final, just really for me, is another fantastic illustration of the gulf between the top in Europe and unfortunately Gloucester. Gloucester had a brilliant season, but just came to a place where you have to be on top of your game, and they weren't today, and Saracens were.
Top of the pile for the 2nd successive campaign, now a 4th successive Premiership semi-final here. Sandy Park, a cauldron to savour on days like these. Simmons for Moon, keeps it alive. O'Flaherty straightens straight through the hole. A lightning break from O'Flaherty, he's gone round bigger. Can he get all the way? Oh my goodness, he can! Solo spectacular from Tom O'Flaherty.
Exeter were amazing today, but they have been all season, and when you think to the final next week, how can Sarries stop them? And then you flip it and think, how can Exeter stop Sarries? So it's just 2 giants of the game. They've been the best 2 sides all season, but something's got to give. Sarries are the slight favourites. I think their line speed, defence will be able to stop Exeter. Exeter, though, look like they had another gear today, and they'll need that other gear next week. The Saracens just absorb you. It's rope-a-dope, and if they do that to this Exeter Chiefs and they've got the firepower out wide, I see them winning. The matchups next week, I think, are all about the pack. You've got Billy Vunipola looking at Kovacic. I think that's a brilliant matchup. And then you've got just the power of Ewers versus Itoje all across the field, in the back line as well. The back 3, I think, is where Saracens have the advantage. Good controlling proceedings right at the back, and then real fire with Williams and probably Maitland on the wings.
We don't believe we've got any prima donnas, but we've got some fantastic world-class players who bond together. They do a lot for each other, they play for each other, and they play for the club.
It's obviously been the best decision I ever made. I came in, they just started the project, but no one really knew what it was and how it was going to go. But I met the guys, and I just believed them. I thought they were unbelievably honest, and they had a vision of where they wanted to go and how they wanted to achieve it, and it's just evolved over time into what it is now. And it's an absolute privilege to be, a small part of what they've done. And I'll say more than anything, I've absolutely loved it.
Yeah, they're phenomenal. They're clearly the best team in Europe. Have been for the last 5 years. They've got an unbelievable coaching staff. I think the owner, I think the whole club itself is run extremely well. Exeter, phenomenal coaching staff. And they've just got a great set of team, great bunch of guys who just play for each other. And there's a lot of talent within it. You've got the Stardust with Henry Slade, and you've got Jack Now, who is unbelievable. So I think there's going to be some ferocious matchups in that game, but there's a lot of talent on show.
I'd like to say this year's winner is, and well deserved, Mark.
Kind of last year's final, there was a lot of kind of hurt and a lot of tears from the boys. You can say last year's one, that it was upsetting last year's, to put it bluntly, because we knew what it took to win it. We knew we showed how much hard work had gone into the season, and that kind of all came out at full time. Plenty of tears, plenty of hugs, plenty of cuddles, but we picked ourselves up. you know, and we're right back to it this year.
Last year's final was a bit disappointing. Obviously, we didn't come away with the victory. And I think that's going to hurt a little bit. But like we always say, is we learn a lot more from defeat than we do from victory. So hopefully we will have learnt our lessons, got the right motivations, just go in there with the right attitude, get back a bit of what we want to get back out of this weekend. I think anyone that's run into a stadium that can fill that many people will know the amount of noise it can make, and you know, it's obviously glamorized in terms of flags and fireworks and all that kind of thing. And I suppose whether your fans are the ones that are making the most noise or not, you take it in as you're running out, and it probably fills you that little bit of extra, like, wow, this is actually the Prem final. So yeah, it's very exciting.
My job really is to try and help the game come alive. You know, ride the emotion and the drama and all of that, but maybe every now and again throw in something that people didn't know before they started watching. And that might be something that I've spotted here, or something that somebody tells me here. They're happy in their work, and you get that impression from just watching them mess about playing football. But you'll also see the switch, knowing when it's time to go to work. And this lot, they know when it's time to go to work. Right, Al, how would you describe Mark McCall?
Mark McCall, he's a bit of a legend, really. A mentor to me and the coaches. A coach that puts other people before himself, other coaches before himself in terms of accolades and this kind of stuff. You know, we'd much rather sit in the background and let other people do his talking for him, which is why I'm talking to you right now. He came back in after the Premiership Awards, of which he won Director of the Season award, right? And I didn't know this. I hadn't seen it on the news, and I'm sat there in the morning, and I said, "Oh, you went to that thing last night. Who got nominated? Did any of our guys get nominated? Because none of us got nominated in the RPAs." And he said, "Yeah, Goode got nominated for something, and somebody else got nominated," and that was it, without still telling me that he'd won this award. So I learnt about it a day later, and we're talking about Billy V, because he's been ill. Last week he was ill with a virus, and he goes, "If you've got any thoughts, let me know." I said, "I've got a thought. Congratulations." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You won Director Rugby Award." And he goes, "Oh, no, everyone else, you know, everyone else's contributions." At which point he hung up on me. So he hung up on me, did not want to listen to it. So as much as I tried to tell him how much he means to us and the club, and how big a cog in the machine that he is, he doesn't take it. If I stopped feel like I'd growing, I'd hang my whistle up tomorrow. And I think it's the same with the boys. They've still got years in them in terms of gaining experience and wisdom and maturity and age. And if I'm honest, I've probably coached less in these last 4 weeks than I've ever coached, because these guys are coming to the fore, and that's been a growth for me personally, but I think also as the squad, because they're driving it now. It's not just the silverware, it's the performance, and we're always looking for that perfect performance, which we still haven't got yet. There's still more in us.
Brilliant. Go well on the weekend.
All right, cheers, pal.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, pal.
You've got to make sure that you don't just dip your toe in. You give it everything, and you leave everything on the field. And you don't know, when your last one will be. And you've got to make sure you embrace it, you enjoy it. As a kid, I would have dreamed of playing in front of 85,000 people at Twickenham in a final for silverware, and that's what you got to remember.
But it would mean everything to this club to be the double, to do the double again. We thought it couldn't be done, and look, we're in a position to do it now. I mean, I dropped to my knees and was punching the floor when we won the European final a couple of weeks ago. So I guess moments like that, big moments like that, are more about them, more about your families, more about the people that have got you there than it is about yourself.
They've got better, we've got better, but we're still searching for something which we haven't quite got yet. It's a performance that we know we've got. We've seen it in glimpses in games, and teams have struggled to play, and we're just desperate to find that. We know what it is. No one else will probably know what it is, but we know what that is for us. And this weekend, I think we're going to need to get close.
Thanks so much, mate. Top job. No worries. All good? Cheers. Go well. Look after your face.
No worries. Cheers, yeah.